next question. F of x is equal to kx square when x is less than or equal to 2, 3 when x is greater than 2. So they say limit exists, find k. Okay? So basically the equal to sign is over here. At kx square when x is less than 2, 3 when x is greater than or equal to 2. Okay? So in that, what is your left hand limit? Left hand limit is limit x tends to 2 minus. 2 minus na anartham x less than or equal to 2 condition edukano. So it's kx square. Kx square, which means k ku substitute x square ku substitute panna you get k times 2 square, which is 4k. So this is your left hand limit. What is your right hand limit? Limit x tends to 2 plus. 2 plus na x greater than or equal to 2. So what is the value? It is 3. It is independent of the value x. Another 3. So what do you have? Limit left hand limit is equal to the right hand limit, which is equal to limit x tends to 2 of f of x, which is equal to 3. Ena 2 another. It is again 3. Idu vandu kuduthirukku because the limit exists. So when you try to equate the 1, the 2. 1 is equal to 2. So what do you have? 4k is equal to 3. K is equal to 3 by 4. Okay? Question number 4. Find limit x tends to 0 of f of x, where f of x is equal to 2x minus mod x. So first mod x will take the value x or minus x. This is okay. First left hand limit. What is your left hand limit? Limit x tends to 0 minus of f of x. What is your f of x? So if x tends to 0 minus na anartham, it is to the left of the number line. So if left hand limit na anartham, it is a negative value. So mod x will take the value minus x, positive x. So what will happen? Limit x tends to 0 minus 2x minus mod x will take the value minus x. Okay? In the minus ko and the minus ko confuse agadinga. So what do you have? Limit x tends to 0 minus 2x plus x, which is 3x. 0 substitute panna enna agum? 0. So this is your left hand limit. What is your right hand limit? Limit x tends to 0 plus 2x minus mod x. If x plus 0 plus na anartham, it is to the right of the number line. Right of 0. Appa enna agum? Mod x will take the value x, minus x kadiyadu. So mod x na enna agum? Limit x tends to 0 plus 2x minus x, which is x. Appa 0 substitute panna enna agum? 0. So what do you see here? Right hand limit is equal to left hand limit, which means limit exists. So what is the limit? Limit x tends to 0 of f of x is equal to 0. This is the final step. You will say right hand limit is equal to left hand limit, which means the limit exists, and the limit is limit x tends to 0 f of x is equal to 0. That's the question. Find limit x tends to 0 f of x. Okay? Number 5. F of x is equal to 1 minus cos 2x divided by 2x square when x is not equal to 0 and k when x is equal to 0. Find k. They say limit exists. Obviously, the question la kuduthirukko illiyo, limit exists na da left hand limit right hand limit equate panni k kandupidikka mudiyum. Okay? So limit exists. So first left hand limit. Limit x tends to 0 minus of f of x. F of x enna? 1 minus cos 2x divided by 2x square. Then enna panna mudiyum? Cos 2x 2x square. Namakku oru theorem theriyum. Enna theriyum? Limit x tends to 0, 1 minus cos x divided by x is equal to 0 theriyum. But in the இடத்துல cos x by x பதிலா என்ன இருக்கு? You have 2x by 2x square. So I am going to change the variable 2x as y. நமக்கு one single variable வேணும் with no coefficient. Correct? So what I am going to do? 2x is equal to y னு எழுத போறேன். So what will your x become? X becomes y by 2. So what will happen to the limit? If x tends to 0, then y will tend to 2x. இல்லையா? Y is equal to 2x, which means 2 into 0 is 0. So y will tend to 0. So இப்போ limit யும் மாத்தியாச்சு, variable யும் மாத்தியாச்சு. So how does your limit change? Limit y tends to 0 minus 1 minus cos y. 2x பதிலா I'm writing y divided by, இந்த இடத்துல என்ன இருக்கு? 2x square. So you have 2x into x. So 2x பதிலா I'm going to write y. இன்னொரு x பதிலா I'm going to write y by 2. So times y divided by 2. Okay? So in the இடத்துல according to this formula, 1 minus cos y by y including the limit. What is it? 0. அப்போ 0 by anything is 0. அவ்வளோதான். By using this theorem, we say that limit y tends to 0 minus 1 minus cos y divided by y is equal to 0. Which means the limit is 0. So same applies for right hand limit. Right hand limit la enna agum? Same. You'll have limit x tends to 0 plus of the same value. மறுபடியும் 1 minus cos 2x divided by 2x square. இதை in terms of y ன்னு எழுதினா you'll get the same thing. So again this is also 0. So since left hand limit is equal to right hand limit, limit x tends to 0 of f of x is equal to என்ன கொடுத்திருக்கு? K. So this is also equal to this. So from 1 and 2 what do we get? 1 is equal to 2, which means k is equal to 0. Okay? Number 6. Limit x tends to 0 cos x divided by pi minus x. So what do? We substitute. என்ன வரும்? Cos 0 divided by pi minus 0. Cos 0 is 1. So 1 divided by pi. That's your answer. Okay? Next question. Limit x tends to 0 sin ax plus bx divided by ax plus sin bx. So if 0 substitute பண்ணா என்ன ஆகும்? Sin 0 is 0, இங்கேயும் 0. A into 0 0, இங்கேயும் 0. So 0 by 0 it is not defined. So நமக்கு என்ன theorem தெரியும்? Limit x tends to 0 sin x by x is equal to 1 ன்னு தெரியும். So கொடுத்திருக்கிற question கிட்டத்தட்ட இந்த மாதிரி change பண்ண try பண்ணணும். So I am going to split the numerator and the denominator. So what do you have? Limit x tends to 0 sin ax plus limit x tends to 0 bx divided by limit x tends to 0 ax plus limit x tends to 0 sin bx. So if limit x tends to 0 bx என்ன ஆகும்? This will become 0. இது என்ன ஆகும்? Limit x tends to 0 ax என்ன ஆகும்? This will become 0. So what are you left with? Limit x tends to 0 sin ax இருக்கு, limit x tends to 0 sin bx இருக்கு. ஒரு term-ஆ பார்ப்போம். So taking the first term, you have limit x tends to 0 sin ax. நமக்கு இந்த form வேணும்னா என்ன வேணும்? Divided by ax வேணும். Divide பண்ணதுனால multiply பண்றேன். So this is your numerator. I'll write nr. Numerator. So what do you have? Limit x tends to 0 ax. So if x tends to 0, ax will also tend to 0. So இந்த இடத்துல ax வரணும். You have x tends to 0. இப்போ நம்மளோட x என்ன இங்க? It is ax. So இந்த இடத்துல if x tends to 0, ax also tends to 0. If x tends to 0, then ax also tends to 0. Okay? So what do you have? This is 1 times ax. So this is your numerator. What is your denominator? Your denominator is limit x tends to 0 sin bx. திரும்ப அதே தான் பண்ணணும். Limit x tends to 0 sin bx. So இந்த இடத்துல what am I doing? bx times dx. So இங்கேயும் அதே reason. If x tends to 0, bx also tends to 0. So இந்த இடத்துல it becomes bx. So what do you have? This is 1 times bx. So இது 1 na you have dx. Now what is numerator divided by denominator? So what do you have? You have, don't forget the limit. Limit x tends to 0, ax by bx. So in that x is 0 substitute panna enna agum? It will become 0 by 0 again. But you can cancel the x's. Correct? So what will it become? It will be a by b. Okay?